Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Heat Check Podcast. My name, if you don't know by now, is Mr. Chaos. You can call me Mike, Chaos, Pharrell, King Chaos, whatever you want to call me. You know what it is. And besides, like I said last week, you're listening, so it don't really matter what you call me. With me, as always, my brother from another mother, the guy that I've been lucky enough to have in my life for over 15 years now, the godfather to my kids, the uncle to my kids, my brother. Sal, say what's up, man.
What up, though, Mr. Chaos, Mike? What's going on today?
Yeah, you know, same old, same old. Hey, and for you guys, we got to welcome back our boys. They are part of the Check the Woods podcast network with us, Pat,
Yeah,
Chucky.
playlist sucks.
Y'all say what's up to the people.
Björgen Götit.
Don't do that. Don't do
Hello, everybody. How are you?
And Paul, we got
Okay,
another
Bob.
special guest. You want to do the introductions?
Yeah, this is my boy Lewis. I met him I don't know how many years ago through my brother-in-law Jonathan, who's also been on here. He is also former military, Air Force, newly retired. My friend Lewis, how you doing, bro?
Nice to meet you.
Oh,
What's going on?
Oh,
we can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Are you muted?
Are you muted?
Oh shit, my bad.
All good. All good.
We're gonna work it out. We're working out the kinks.
We'll figure it out. So, not yet. Still can't hear you. All right. Well, look, we're going to work on this.
We still can't hear you, bro.
we heard you there for a second.
Might have to come back in the room. Did that to me too.
Yeah. Here, try to go out and come back in, Lewis.
I think he's all right. I think I read the lips.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think he can hear us, but he can't. We can't
I
hear
know.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could
I
hear
think he
us.
might have had his mic muted. Anyways, it's the fantastic part about, live recording and stuff. Sometimes shit just happens.
Yeah.
So tonight it is a special episode. We are going to get later on in the episode, we're going to get very heavy military. We're going to talk about some experiences. Pat, you're going to be the only non-military guy in here, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, you're going to hear some of the dumbest shit that you've ever heard in your life.
All right. I'm here to listen.
And trust me, if people, what gets me about this is when we talk about military stories, people are like, oh, it's like a frat house. Yes, except one, we're all young. I mean, it's exactly like a frat house, except we're trained to kill. We're way more bored because we don't have classes and shit to go to. And we really, really, really enjoy doing stupid shit.
On purpose.
On purpose to each other. And sometimes to ourselves for the amusement of everybody else. So, and this is not, if you're listening and you're a veteran, you're listening in your military, I appreciate you and we appreciate you listening and watching. So this is not to denigrate the military or, show the military in a negative light, but you have to understand that when you go through something like that, sometimes dark shit happens.
Yeah.
And the easiest way to get over the dark shit is to have a sense of humor about everything. So we absolutely do have some crazy stories. I know Paul and I do because we were in the same unit for 3 years. And I can guarantee you Chucky was infantry, so I know there's rounds of fuck games that can be talked about.
That was so weird. There was a small lag in my video.
Was it?
Okay, cool. It hit again. Yeah, but it was like I looked to the left for no reason and then came back and saw myself still looking to the left. I thought I was in the Matrix there for a second. I'm like, what's happening?
That's
Mushrooms.
so funny.
Mushrooms.
while we wait for Lewis to come back on, if we can get him back on, I want to start with. So it's the end of the season for my team and Paul's team.
Oh, sorry.
You don't have to laugh that hard.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I'm sorry. I don't know where that came from.
These two lucky gentlemen have a team in the playoffs that won a playoff game for the first time in 30 years.
Who, the Lions?
Yeah.
We're not Lions.
We're not Lions fans.
Oh, you guys are Packers fans.
Yeah.
Sorry.
They beat a team that hasn't been to a Super Bowl in over 30 years.
I do
Yeah, you guys. I forgot you guys are Packers. God damn it! Maybe I shouldn't have smoked so much before I started this.
That's okay. It's all right.
Joke, I think it's a better joke. It's a good punchline for a joke that you weren't trying to make. It's even better.
Definitely something to clip.
Yeah, hey, whatever. I'm fine with it. I don't have that much shame, anyways. But these guys are Packers fans. Packers fans know, what it's like to struggle and not go to the playoffs, and then they beat a team that nobody thought they were going to beat in the Cowboys. So
I'm pretty sure we all knew.
you know what? As an Eagles fan, I'm disgusted with the way my team went out, but the absolute ass whooping y'all gave the Cowboys made that so much easier to deal with.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, Mike. They're the best there is, plain and simple. It's the Green Bay Packers.
Shut up.
You'll be biting that tongue by the end of the day. So.
Oh my god.
Oh boy.
We're the best there is.
So
What are you, Canadians?
Okay, so here's the thing. Since week 10, we'll go week 11. Since week 11, he's got 22 touchdowns, 1 interception. Jordan Love is playing like the best quarterback in the NFL since week 10. Defensively, yeah, we've had some issues. People want to talk about. Here's a prime example of a yin and yang. I think this team has got something weird going behind it, right? But Miami put 70 on Denver, right?
Right.
Miami put points on a whole bunch of people. But where's Miami right now?
At home.
At home.
On
Okay,
the beach.
the playoffs are different, right? So yeah, Green Bay's defense gave up 30 points to Carolina. Cool.
Right.
Cool story. That was a few weeks ago. Had LaFleur not made a crazy decision to put our third and fourth stringers in, we wouldn't have given up 27 to the Dallas Cowboys.
No, you wouldn't have.
You know what I'm saying? Like that final score from the Dallas game was what it is. Our defense is going to be what it is, but offensively, our offense has been there. And Jordan Love has been there. So do I think am I going to go bet $5,000 that Green Bay beat San Francisco? I don't know. It depends on how I make my pick. Because all year long, if I pick against Green Bay, they've won. All year long. If I picked Green Bay to win, they lost.
Of course.
Last week, I swear to God, as Pat, it happened again. I said, you know what? I'm going to pick Dallas just because we got to keep the streak alive. This week, I'm picking San Francisco. San Francisco's going to win. Should be no problem, right?
I mean,
in theory, you're right. San Francisco should win. But
the mentalist effect.
It's not even the. Here you go.
Charles, can I tell you something that you always say this? You said that the Dallas played such a crappy schedule. You know they played more playoff teams than the Packers did.
Who's that? Dallas?
The Cowboys did.
Oh,
yeah, because they had a better record last year than the Packers did.
No. I mean, they played more playoff teams.
I know, but
he's saying they played a crappy schedule.
My thing is
that weak of a schedule.
Yeah.
They played just as weak of a schedule as the Packers did.
Look at Bishop.
Bringing back
Bishop from the TW Takes podcast, our boy. He says, "Is that space in the middle for me? Where's the invite?" Brother,
we working on somebody to be in here. They're just having a little technical difficulties.
Yeah. Trust me. We gonna talk after this.
That's the writing on the wall for the regular season.
But the regular season is great, and like you said, Charles, I am a firm believer. Regular season is great. get you what seeding you need, all that jazz. However, when it comes to them playoffs, everybody starts at 0-0.
And right now, Green Bay's 1-0. And you know what? San Francisco is 0-0, baby. We're coming into this game with the same scenario that we came into the Dallas game with, right?
So do you think those 2 weeks off plays a factor?
Absolutely.
It happened to Green Bay a few years ago when they had the number 1 seed. Did they not lose the first game?
It happened to Tennessee when they had the first seed in Tennessee and they lost to Cincinnati.
They ended up
Those were
losing to the
good football
Giants.
teams.
Yeah.
San Francisco's a good football team. It could happen to them, just like you said.
Offensively, Green Bay has what it takes.
Yeah.
Defensively, we picked the potential MVP twice. One was a pick six. I mean, now we're talking Brock Purdy. And everyone in this podcast outside of me kind of F Brock Purdy. And I see it. I believe it.
Here's the thing. All of you, I want every single one of you guys to say, give me 2 seconds to say this. Can the Packers stop CMC? That's going to be that's what the game comes down to.
That is going to be the deciding factor. Who, if you can slow down Christian McCaffrey, then that changes the ball game because he is the catalyst, I feel like, of that offense.
Yeah.
If he can't make plays, that doesn't leave anything open. I'm like, yes, Debo can still do stuff, but we all know that CMC is the heart and soul of that offense.
That offense runs through him. Yeah.
Like Debo and Brandon Ayuk can't get open and can't get those slots without CMC being the threat that CMC is. Brock Purdy can't be Brock Purdy without CMC controlling those play actions and all that jazz and those screenplays to get off like that. It functions off of CMC. You're building the defense when you're going against San Francisco you're scheming against CMC. That's their all-star. That's their bread and butter. When CMC is not there, Debo can't be as effective because he's gonna get double teamed. So he's getting the pressure that CMC would get.
Oh, absolutely.
I think the key to this game isn't going to be keeping the 49ers out of the end zone. I think comfortably. Oh, what happened to Pat?
Pat just dropped out.
What?
Your camera went out.
Camera went out. Okay, so anywho, he's fixing his camera. So comfortably, you're going to assume that the 49ers are going to score 27, 30 points.
Yeah.
It's safe to assume.
It's safe to assume that. Anything more, you're not winning that game.
Right.
But if Green Bay can score, that's the thing. I think if this game goes into a shootout, I trust Jordan Love more than Brock Purdy. But I think the final key to this game would be to not have San Francisco's offense on the field as much as your offense. If their offense isn't on the field, they don't score.
Now, Mike, you can tell me if this sounds correct, because the Eagles, outside of this year, they've had pretty good playoff runs the last 3-4 years.
Yeah.
I feel like the two factors when it comes to San Francisco is how much time management they're going to be. If their offense can stay and eat that clock on offense and keep Jordan Love, it's going to affect Green Bay worse with Jordan Love being on the bench more. And it's the same thing with Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. The less time that they have on the field, it's detrimental to their scoring ability.
I mean, this is a mountain. I mean, the 49ers have to not be themselves, and things have to go Green Bay's way.
For them even having a chance.
For them to have a chance. 100%. We're the youngest team in the league.
Yes.
I just want to put 21 to 33 points on the board.
I just want a good game.
Yeah, if we can put 21 to 33
I think it's going to be
points.
a fantastic game. I honestly think it's going to be a fantastic game. I think the only game that could possibly be outshined, there's only two. Technically, all four of the games that are playing this weekend could just.
I think that Buffalo Kansas City game is going to be a freaking ringer.
Josh Allen is in for blood. He is coming for Mahomes' neck.
Hey.
My boy's back.
Apologies.
Oh, nice.
There we go. Mahomes is going to get his neck stomped in.
Look.
I pray that his neck gets stomped in.
But
I think the blockbuster game is going to be the Texans and the Ravens game. I feel like that's going to be the game.
they're playing in Buffalo, right?
Yes.
That might be the factor. But here's the thing. So, what do you do if Josh Allen can't get it done again this year?
You Kelly him. You can build him a statue and name a school after him because he brought you there almost 4 times.
Right.
I don't
That's
know.
that is messed up, but so accurate.
I'm sorry.
The fifth, I can get a free second.
No, like
That is the most accurate. Ooh, that's a burn. There's your burn, Pat.
Charles is sick burn.
there it is. There's the sick bird. I'm sorry,
Very
but
early.
All right.
no.
So, you guys got the Niners. That's going to be a crazy game.
Yeah.
Lewis, just like me and Paul, don't have a team in the playoffs. We're all sitting back and watching at this point.
My brother's a Ravens fan.
No,
The Ravens.
not like us. We weren't in the playoffs at all. So.
Yeah. We didn't even sniff it.
So,
Yeah.
Naomi Rivera.
That's
nice
my little
name.
sister.
Good name. I like the name. Go Ravens, she says.
Yeah, she's a Ravens fan by default.
Yeah, my brother's a Ravens fan.
But
Could
then
be
her
worse.
wife,
Could be
her
tough.
wife, her wife is a Bills fan. She is like the biggest Josh Allen fan.
Oh,
So
boy.
gonna
if
be
they make
interesting.
it, that house is gonna suck next week.
I'd be checking the food real close. I'd
gonna be an
checking
interesting
the
house.
food.
That is going to be an interesting house. Come,
Why don't you
they
just go
both
to
make the
sleep?
AFC playoffs.
It's
All right,
okay, babe. The
so-
game's over.
what I wanted to do this week. Obviously, we're going to get into military. In a minute in the back half of the podcast. What I wanted to do is kind of start with some sports stuff, some NFL stuff, so we could go through it. And I wanted to start with, Pat, you and Chucky, you guys are you guys are fans of the same team, so it might be a little bit easier. What I wanted to do is a free agency wish list. Who do you want to pick up and or retain during free agency?
I mean,
And your sister said she's got sleeping arrangements figured out already. That's funny.
Of course she does.
we've got the youngest team. Honestly, most of them are all under contract. I think we were going to have to figure Jordan Love out a little bit, but otherwise, I'm just loving watching this team grow. What do you think, Pat?
Retain? Yeah, they're all under all the good guys are under contract. Higgins is a free agent.
Y'all don't want Jair to come back?
Probably not.
He's under contract, man. He just signed a 4-year
You
extension.
better bring him back just for
He
the hot
just
take.
signed a 4-year, $21 million a year
Okay.
extension
I
this
didn't-
offseason. He
I
ain't
didn't
going
know.
nowhere.
I didn't know he had signed a
He ain't
long-term
going
deal
nowhere,
with
man. The pack is back.
That's that part right there. I just gotta let you know. Back is back.
That's so
And
funny.
the news reporter's getting eaten alive. Oh, there's some fan right there. Well, lady,
Ma'am, he's on the team.
he
Here's the
T.
thing,
Higgins, I could absolutely see Pat.
if they let him go, they let Jair go, or if he was to go, Snead is available from Kansas.
Yeah.
from Kansas City. Snead would be a good pickup. Arguably, man, our defense just needs a good system to grow in.
Who would be better fit, Charles? Would it be Higgins or Pittman Jr.? Because those are the two big wide receivers that are available next year.
I would probably run after Pittman over Higgins.
Yeah, for y'all's style of offense, I think Pittman would fit better.
Here's the kicker, though. Are you ready for this? Higgins hasn't been out with concussions. The concussion thing to me is a slippery slope, especially with the wide receiver. And I love Higgins' hands.
Yeah,
so,
Charles. But guess what? Higgins has hamstring issues just like Christian Watson does.
yeah. All right. Well,
There's that.
I guess it's a double-edged sword.
So,
really, either one of them
which
would be
poison
really
do you
good.
want?
Yeah. Close your eyes.
I'll take
Hopefully, you
Pittman
pick
for
the
8 games.
Sicilian.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
The only thing I want, the only thing that I need outside, you listen, just go inside the offensive tackle bag and just give me 2 of them. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just give me 2 of them.
Actually, crazy thought earlier today was I was like,
get another 2 for me, brother. 'Cause
I'm like, wait, where's David Bakhtiari in this whole situation? Like,
But this is my priority. I feel like this is priority. We have to re-sign Jalen Johnson. That is priority.
Yeah, because if not, he's gone.
Well, we can. I'm almost certain if we can't find a contract that he feels worthy enough for his talents, we're gonna franchise tag him.
He's the only corner they got that can cover anybody, too.
So it's either a franchise tag or we got to pay the man.
Yeah, I'm thinking you guys are going to pick up Coach Klein for your
Paul,
OC
can I
position.
tell you something that's going to trigger you?
Or I
right
meant
now? Just
Kingsbury.
Please don't tell me we're trading him to the Ravens.
No, I'm going to tell you right now that Kirk Cousins rumors are going to the Bears right now.
He can suck a toe.
He is trending towards the Bears right now.
The Giants can take him. He's fine over
Hey,
there.
Paul, tell him we said, "Hey, big head." I mean, you know what I mean? 'Cause at this point,
you might as well take him.
This
I'll
dude
definitely
lets
take
his
Kirk
wife
Cousins.
dress him. That's all you need to know.
That's well.
Hey,
I honestly think
Miss
he.
Cousins, Miss Cousins, can I get the link too? I'd love to wear the same. Yeah, bring him this way.
Well, that and you know,
Letting
letting the wide receiver core dress him in drip on the plane. That shit is
Oh my
like
God.
Kirk O'Bangs.
I honestly wouldn't be mad at Kirk going to the Giants though. Like that wouldn't be the worst fit.
Listen,
It
We're
would
forgetting-
Be, it
we're
would
for-
be a little bit of an upgrade above what they have now. A little
I'm
bit.
like, he's not
Kirk
tripping over
Cousins-
his own foot.
Kirk Cousins to Bill Belichick and the Atlanta Falcons.
I could deal with that too.
That's where Kirky's
Listen,
going.
All right.
listen.
So
Yeah,
is
go
that's who
ahead.
you're hoping for, Paul?
That's my
That's it?
priority right now. Outside of whatever, but if we can't get Jalen Johnson, we might as well just wait for the draft again in 2025.
Lewis, who are you hoping the Giants pick up and or retain?
well, yeah, I just really just crapped all over my list. It's gonna sound like a seventh grader's list that obviously goes to the YMCA after school because he looks up to Kirk Cousins. That was my first guy. Obviously for obvious reasons. By the way, I got to meet Daniel Jones and he wouldn't sign my football, so he could leave the team. I really could care less.
You got beef with Daniel Jones?
Beef with Jonesy.
Listen, man, it was the last year that Eli was on the team, and God put me in the right place where I got to get my ball signed, and I see the future of my team standing over there in the corner, and I literally link eyes with him, and I do one of these like, you know what I mean? And he literally just looked down and walked away from me, man. I will never forget that. And if I see him again,
So you're telling me
I'm
a
gonna remind
rookie
him.
looked past you?
He looked past me, man, and I was in uniform.
Oh, the disgrace!
I'm really,
Oh,
yeah, man. I'm really
man.
thinking, hey, man, this is your time to shine, buddy. Let me help you.
Yeah.
But it didn't
Even
work out.
hippie
So,
Aaron Rodgers stopped and talked to all of us.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That
Yeah, he
probably
got
was a
to
better
go.
conversation, to be honest.
He wasn't
with you.
Danny
Yeah,
Dimes
so he
yet.
can go, man.
Man,
Yeah,
I was
no
going
shit.
to
And of
say,
course-
what's the grind on Danny in your area? How are people feeling about Mr. 41 million?
Yeah, no, we're not happy because it makes it look. I mean, think about it. Just like gives you the example of New York City as a whole, man. Think about it, right?
Yeah.
You got New York City where you think, oh, it's the lights, the glitz and the glare, but really, it's like everybody else. Everybody's tore up from their head down to their ankles, but their Timberlands look nice. So yeah, maybe on paper we look good, but obviously when the kid gets on the field, he can't take a hit. He does that
Right.
whole. He's a new school generation quarterback in New York City. The guys like me, we're not. We need somebody like a Kirk Cousins to be honest with you. You know what I mean?
TJ the boss. What
So
up?
you said you had what's his name? Tony Cutlets.
You
Did
know
you hear
what?
he fired his
Listen.
Danny DeVito?
You hear he
Yeah,
fired his agent?
Oh
Did
boy.
he? His big brother.
Yeah. So I guess it's this whole pizza incident, right? I'd seen a little bit about it a few weeks ago, but heard more a couple
Right.
days ago. I
I
guess
heard it was a rumor, but I mean, I haven't looked into it because after he stopped playing, just like the rest of New York City, I was like, who's this kid?
Yeah, who's that?
Who's this guy?
Yeah. I guess his agent brokered a deal with the pizza joint for $10K.
Oh, I heard this
Right.
shit. Yeah.
And then the agent was like, no, we're going to need another $10K.
Yeah,
and
then
the
he was
pizza
a
joint
no-show.
was like, no, we can't do it. And then DeVito found out, fired his agent, went to the pizza joint for free.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the rumor.
Yeah.
Who else
That's insane.
Who else you got on your free
He's not gonna
agent
be able to
list?
afford an agent next year anyway. So
No.
Damn.
Really? Who else you got on your free agent list?
I don't know, but if I was only making $80K, I'd be living with my parents too in New York City.
That's funny.
Damn right.
It's too expensive.
You, Luis,
you're asking me.
yeah.
You know, man. You know what? I don't even know why this guy is on my list, but in my opinion, Mr. New York right now is Saquon Barkley. Like, I don't understand the disrespect that New York is just giving this guy, man. Like,
It's like
I
Shaquille
understand the
O'Neal in
injury.
Orlando all over again.
I'm telling you, man, it's something that we're gonna regret, man. It's gonna be one of those things where wherever he goes, man, he's bringing somebody a
He's gonna
ring,
burn
and
He's
somebody.
gonna ball.
it's gonna
Yeah.
look bad on us, man. And just like
Yep.
everything else, it's like we can see how we, I'll throw all the money we throw away, and it's gonna come back and haunt us, man. So yeah, he's definitely on my list, and I don't think he should be. I don't know if you guys ever watch his videos, man, but like the way that he like portrays, like the way that he shows his love for New York. He's
Yeah.
like, I don't want to leave New York. I don't want to leave the Giants. I want to be I just like my heart goes out to a guy like that, man, because it's not more to me. It's more skills, but it's also his passion for the team, man. Like
Have you
that can
seen
like
his calves?
impact the rest of us. I see that in real life.
Them calves. I would pay that man.
Pay that.
Because when they
I've seen
signed
them in real life.
when they
16
re-signed Danny Nichols and ignored Saquon, I was like,
16
wait,
hours ago, Giants
you have
started.
you have a top 10 pick that you could use on a quarterback, but you're gonna let one of the greatest running backs in the last 25 years just walk, and
Right.
not just walk. You don't think Dallas wants him. You don't think Philly wants him.
Oh,
You don't think the
absolutely.
Commanders wants him.
Let me ask you this question: before Saquon Barkley, who was the most well-known running back out of Giants?
Barber,
Ron Dane.
in my opinion.
Tiki Barber.
Tiki
I'm
Barber
gonna
is
say
probably
Barber.
the
Yeah.
most well-known Giants running back before Barkley. Who was in between all that?
Ron Dane.
Outside of that,
Brand
you had Bradshaw. He was all right.
Jacobs. I mean,
Jacobs.
yeah,
Jacobs.
Jacobs
Crazy.
took us to the Super Bowl. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
No, I get what you're saying, though, Paul.
I'm
But
like,
they're not.
there's
They're
none
definitely
of
not on
those
that
running
same
backs
level.
hold water to Barkley or Barber.
Yeah, you're right.
None,
You're
not
right. I
even
agree with you,
close.
Hundo.
No.
Not even
Wait,
close.
now, what do you think about Barbie? Compare Barber to Barkley? You wouldn't compare them, or you wouldn't put
I
them on the
still
same
think.
level?
I would
That's the
say.
debate.
If Barkley would have not have got hurt and he would have had a better offensive line,
Mhm.
he could have been 10 times better than Tiki Barber was.
Yeah.
Right, because Barber has a legacy, in my opinion. When it comes to New
Yes,
York and the Giants.
Tiki Barber. He was like what, like
Was-
8-9 years there, 10 years.
Was
Yes,
Barber
man.
was there for you guys 2 Super Bowls, right?
He didn't win one. He didn't win one.
Not the no.
He went.
That was
He
prior.
lost. He went to the Super Bowl in 2000
When they
Bro,
lost.
when they lost to the Ravens. They got blown out. Sorry, no disrespect.
You know his love for New York.
Hey, man.
The dude was born in the Bronx. Like, how can you not love New York? I mean,
True. All right.
that's the thing. They'll
Wow.
crap on this guy, and if he doesn't stay there, then they'll just turn on him. So
It's the crazy shit about NFL fans. It's not just Giants fans or Eagles fans or Bears fans. It's NFL fans. I'm like, what the fuck are y'all doing?
I don't know. New York fans are different because y'all, if y'all don't win, y'all let them hear it.
Well, to add to that, 16 hours ago on MSN, Giants star Saquon Barkley, Tommy DeVito revealed gambling fans send requests if bets don't hit.
Wow.
What is happening?
So yeah, your fans are pretty amazing.
Yeah, Philly fans we're a different breed, but that's crazy.
Holy
right.
crap.
So this is my free agency wish list that I kind of hope to happen. I want DeAndre Swift back. First year with
That's
the
a
Eagles.
That's a solid wish.
He's a solid. First year with the Eagles, he gets his first All Pro. He gets his first Pro Bowl. He gets his first 1,000-yard rushing season. I think he would be a great pickup once we get a fucking OC who can figure out how to fucking continuously run the ball behind the best offensive line in the league. I want to bring Graham back definitely to finish up his goodbye tour. And then Braden Mann, our punter, has been the best punter we've had in 10 years easily. So bring him back. As far as free agent pickups, I'm a shoot big shots here. Chris Jones from
It's not
Kansas City.
happening.
Yeah, hell no, it's not happening. We're gonna get money from this shit.
Can I tell you who I think they're going to get?
Who?
Who's going to come in? Mike Evans.
Ooh. You know who I'm hoping for?
He was on my list.
If we can't keep Swift, I'm hoping we either get Saquon or Derrick Henry. Saquon running behind our line.
Would Derek be a 1-year deal for Philly?
Has to be.
Yeah,
Scuttle,
he
I
beat
think
Scuttlebutt
this-
Scuttlebutt is Derek to Dallas.
It's Super Bowl or bust for him, pretty much.
I think
Yeah.
every deal that he gets now is going to be a 1-year deal if he keeps
Yeah.
playing.
I also would like, just for shits and gigs, if he's available, T. Higgins as our wide receiver 3, because why not?
Stop. You do this every week. Stop taking all the receivers.
Paul, you had the opportunity to take.
Literally.
No, you don't understand, Pat. Every week, this man wants to have like 5 receivers just loaded up on each side.
Jalen Hurts can't throw the ball to him. What does it matter?
Shut your
Jesus.
fucking mouth. Shut your fucking mouth.
I kind of take offense to
Listen,
that
Joe,
too, being a
team
better
would be-
listen. I love Jalen Hurts, but Bosa was right. All you got to do is make him look at the rush, and he no longer looks at the wide receivers. I mean, it
Well,
was
listen to me. So my counter,
7 weeks in a row.
my counter for that is when you have a fucking offensive coordinator who can't call a fucking slant.
I
route
agree.
through
I
the
agree.
middle.
Oh, trust me, I know.
I agree. I'm
Anyway.
just saying
He's a
it's a
second
whole
Baker,
long off season for people to
I
look
know.
at that tape.
I know.
And you got to be coming into next year ready
know.
to realize that, hey, wait a
listen,
minute,
But listen,
maybe
Jalen
there's an
Hurts-
Achilles heel here.
It's not an Achilles heel. Check it out. Go back to this year.
7 weeks is a lot of tape.
Listen, what you're talking about is a weakness for Jalen Hurts. Go back a year. It was his strength. They excelled out of throwing out of the blitz. Last year, they were one of the top 5 teams.
Right. No,
So
you know me. I like Jalen. I'm just saying.
Ah, look at this.
He backtracking.
Look,
He backtracking.
listen to me.
He said, "Say it to my face."
Anyways, look,
Angry.
T. Higgins is just kind of one of those that I would throw out there just kind of as a wish list. But really, who I would like is Brian Burns or Patrick Queen. Those are
Brian
two.
Burns he was on my list too. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Having Brian Burns next to Edmonds and Edwards would be freaking insane.
Bro, speaking of Edwards, did you fucking hear? I'm so pissed off at Howie Roseman for this. He didn't even offer TJ Edwards a new contract. Didn't even offer. Let him walk.
Really?
Just let him
That
walk.
man, he ate this year.
Bro, he was our best. He was the best tackler on our team last
And
year.
not he was our best tackler this year.
It's fucking crazy. Didn't even offer him a fucking contract.
All that though, and we still was trash. So that was all for nothing.
Yeah. Well, and you see where Philly missed. Obviously, we missed tacklers like a motherfucker, man. Can't nobody tackle in Philly.
It's okay. You know, at least you made the playoffs.
Ish, kind of. I don't count that.
When teams don't counter for picking up players' contracts, all that tells me is that they're going after somebody. There's somebody in the draft or in free agency that they want more. That's all.
Younger, cheaper.
Yeah.
Well, and I get that too, but we didn't even draft an off the ball linebacker. Like, we picked up Nolan Smith. Nolan Smith is an edge guy. He barely plays off ball. You're not going to send him into coverage. You can send TJ Edwards into coverage. It's what he does. He's a fantastic off ball linebacker.
Right.
Our good off ball linebacker is Nakobe Dean, and guess what? He's been injured 5 fucking times this year, killing me. So
Holy shoot.
I don't mean to jump the gun, man, but are we
What
not
up?
going to talk about Kelsey or?
Kelsey.
I was waiting for somebody to bring it up.
No, because I listen. I know how to poke a bear, and I know when I see a bear. So I'm like, man, should I bring up Kelsey or?
Hell yeah, bring it up.
All right, man. Let's do it.
I'm good with Kelsey. Look, the dude has been the best center in the league for a long time.
13 years.
Absolutely.
He is one of the only times I can remember whenever I hear center talked about being Hall of Fame level. And this isn't me being an Eagles fan. This is factually, statistically. He's
Jeff
one of
Saturday,
the only
yeah.
ones you can look at and say, oh, he's first ballot completely.
Right.
Yeah.
I wish he went out on a better game. And I
Yeah.
wish they didn't play any of the starters against the Giants in that last game, so we could have had A.J. Brown and maybe had a better chance to win. But if he really is done, the dude will never buy another piece of fucking steak in Philly. He will never buy another beer in Philly. You talk about New York Giants got some historical figures just like the other two franchises. He, to us, is what LT is to the Giants.
Wow.
That's
Ooh,
what
that's
Kelsey is
a-
to us.
For a
That's-
center, that's pretty impressive for a center. And like I don't mean to be like play that race card, but like Philly being like, what I know Philly to be is like a historic, like a black city,
Yeah, yeah.
for him to come in and and get the love. And I don't know if you guys saw that prime season with him and his brother, or specifically focusing on him. Man, the love that he gets on either side of the tracks is crazy to me, man.
Yeah.
It's
His
it's
brother is like the popular one, the cute one, and all that, but I think real men recognize that,
Yeah.
man.
Well,
That
I
dude
mean,
is
Kelsey,
there.
Jason
Travis
was.
is cute, but he got sexiest man in the world. So who's the good
Yeah.
looking one?
well
Can I
that
make? I'm gonna
the
make your
thing.
head spin, Mike.
What's that?
All right, just quick. Who's better? Who is a better Eagles center? Bednark or Kelsey?
Well, since I don't know shit about Chuck Bednarik except they call him Concrete Charlie, I'm
He
gonna say
played
Jason
both ways.
Kelsey.
I didn't know he played both ways.
Oh
There's no
yeah,
linebacker.
those guys are monsters. But there's a difference, right? Like Jason Kelsey is a supremely undersized center. Like he's
Yeah.
so much smaller than most
So
centers.
good with his hands and feet. So good.
Bro, when he pulls and he goes as a run blocker, either for Jalen or for DeAndre, he's by far one of the best pulling and running and blocking centers in the league.
Here-
It's even 13 years in, I don't think there's another center in the league. Maybe Creed Humphrey that's as good as him. Maybe.
I got a question for you. I got a
Yep.
couple questions. One, do you have a suitable replacement if he actually is walking away?
We have two suitable replacements.
All right, that's beautiful. Now, here's the question that's kind of towards you and towards you, Lewis. Because if we're gonna poke one bear, we got to poke the other one. Which retirement hurts the sport, or which one hits different harder? Nick Saban or Kelsey?
Come
Nick
on, man.
Saban.
Look,
Come on, man.
if we're talking about influence and difference making, the guy who won 6 national titles. Like you
Yeah,
can't.
Nasty Nick,
He's
right?
got more. He's got more NFL draft picks than losses at
Yeah,
Alabama.
that's I
Like,
can't
I
I
mean,
can't
come on.
the retirement that hurts the most the football world is Nick Saban. You're losing one of the best strategic minds in the world. The retirement that hurts the NFL more is Jason Kelsey
Well, if you
because
lose the Eagles,
you're losing a teacher for other centers. Like
Mm.
what this generation has started doing is tight end university and defensive end university and O line university. Kelsey and Lane Johnson founded O Line University, where other O lines from around the league come in and learn from two of the best in the business. You're losing a teacher. You're losing somebody who can say, I've been to multiple Super Bowls. I've won a Super Bowl. I've been in a 4-12 team. I've been in a 13-4 team and a 14-3 team. So you're losing a guy who knows what it's like to just get your dick kicked in for the entire year. He also knows what it's like to be riding on cloud 9 and then somebody shoots you in the face at the end of the year.
yeah.
Like it so that's what you lose when you lose with Kelsey. And I think I don't want to say the NFL is going to be a worse place for him, but I just think you're losing such a positive voice for the sport and a positive representation. This is a guy who never gets in trouble off the field, never has any drama.
Yeah.
Like he's the example of leadership. He's quiet. He's a professional. So I think you're losing a lot, but it sucks. But Jason Kelsey is one of those guys where I'm like, if he feels like it's time to retire, I can't object at all.
Would
He's a
you?
dying breed of a center,
Yeah.
because I don't
Oh
think they
yeah.
make centers like that anymore, or centers aren't
Not the
like
way he moves.
playing 10 years in the league.
Zach Zinter. He's going to be
If
the next one.
if Connor Williams falls into your lap, are you taking him over Dickerson though?
Connor Williams from the Miami Dolphins.
Yep.
Well, Dickerson isn't the center I would replace him with anyways. I'd put Cam Jurgens in. Jurgens is a better center than
I
Dickerson is.
thought he was. Isn't he a tackle?
Nope. Cam Jurgens is a center, but right now is playing left guard. Cam Jurgens this entire year has played left guard, center, right guard, left guard, center. Like he's switched it up. Kelsey obviously always started at center, but there were downs where Jurgens was playing center. He's got experience. That's what he played in college at Nebraska.
Interesting.
Yep. We've got replacements. It's one of those things where you're like, I don't know how you're gonna do it,
You're
but
not. You can replace the player. You can't replace
what he
the
is, yeah,
leadership.
yeah,
Not
No,
at all.
that you can't teach that stuff.
no, and the respect. I mean, the respect that he has, not
League
only
wise,
yes, in throughout the league. Like the guy
yeah.
is one of the most respected players. You know, last year I think in the top 100 he was like number 37. When has a center or a lineman in general been rated that high? An offensive lineman, never, not ever.
And what he means to the city of Philadelphia is
Mm.
unmatched.
Yeah,
Well,
I
are we
think
going to write a eulogy for the guy?
I would
What are
say
we
he getting a
Like
statue.
We
I'm,
mean,
I'm just saying.
Shit. Holy fuck.
All right.
They about to knock
Let's send
down.
let's send him a Valentine's card too,
Oh,
man. God
trust
damn.
me.
Sitting your brother
Here,
To be
Bro,
down.
honest with you, the rest of the country didn't even know who he was until Mama Kelsey brought him onto the stage at the Super Bowl. You know, I mean, like,
That
unless
jersey
you listen
cut.
to his podcast, I mean, he's a great center and everything, but geez Christ. How many times did he win Walter Payton Man of the Year?
dude, I tried to watch and
Multiple.
listen to their podcast. It's terrible.
Really?
Yeah.
you're
can't.
I love their podcast. I'm
I
I
not
think
kidding.
it's,
can't.
I think
I
they're
don't.
hilarious.
I don't like Travis Kelsey.
Oh, well, that's you have a personal axe to grind. I get it. All
Sounds
right,
No,
let's
like it.
let,
I have an
Are
axe to
you a
grind
Taylor
against
Swift
somebody
fan? Is
who
that what it
can't
is?
even like relate the players.
Went on like a 4 minute fucking Kelsey
All right.
thing.
I wouldn't.
hey, leave me alone. You asked me about my retiring center, who I fucking think should
I
be a
thought it was
Saint.
the free agent list, man.
Anyways, all right. So look, check this
Yeah,
out.
it's a
Let's move on from
My,
this.
replacement.
my bad. My bad. My bad. My
You're
bad.
good. Let's move on from this. I'm going to get into my head coach predictions, and then we'll go around and get everybody else's predictions on where they think people are going to go. Obviously, there's one on the list that we already know. Antonio Pierce is signed with the Raiders, so
That job's off the list.
that job's off the list. So for me, I have the Chargers as the most desirable job and or
Right.
most challenging job. I got either Jim Harbaugh or Eric Bieniemy to them. I think Bieniemy with Justin Herbert could be a crazy combination. Falcons, I got Belichick or the OC from Cincinnati, Brian Callahan. Commanders, I got the Bobby Slowick, the OC from Houston. I just think they're in a need to draft a quarterback, and he's worked with a bunch of really young quarterbacks and have helped them develop. So, uh, Seahawks, the rumor is, and my best guess is probably Dan Quinn from the Cowboys going to the Seahawks.
Interesting.
Uh, the Titans, I got Todd Monken, the OC from the Ravens, going to the Titans. I think if you've watched what the Ravens can do offensively when they're healthy, I think Todd Monken can make the most out of the limited weapons that the Titans have. I think he could get good out of Will Levis. Panthers, I have Brian Johnson from the Eagles taking the Panthers because I want to get rid of him, and who cares about the Panthers? Um, and then I have my wild card is still Philly, and I have either Mike Vrabel or Bieniemy coming if we get rid of our head coach.
If your coach wasn't fired today, he's staying.
Well, he's in a meeting right now.
Yeah.
Well, here's the one: they can't talk to any teams that are in the playoffs right now. So that's why a lot of these teams haven't hired anybody or even brought anybody in. Really, they want to wait until.
Yeah. You can only you can't have in-person interviews till after.
I don't
the
even think they can
divisional.
talk to them while they're
And
in.
they don't they gotta like ask permission
Collusion.
anyway?
They
Yeah.
ask permission. If permission's granted, you can have a phone call.
Right.
But you
there's
can't
no
do in-person interviews.
there's no face to face or
Lewis, let's go with your head coach predictions. Who do you think everybody's going to be?
you might not be able to be a part of the NFL though, which is why we're seeing like if you're a playoff team,
Yeah.
you have to wait and yada yada yada.
So I did three, man. I apologize.
No worries.
My knowledge has only so many limits, man. But I was kind of on the same page as you. With the Chargers, I couldn't see nobody else but Harbaugh as well. I mean, it just makes sense, like on both sides of the field, as well as just bringing that kind of. I don't know. When I think about Michigan and I think about like the Chargers, it's almost like a mirror. You know what I mean? So uh, yeah, Belichick in Atlanta, and that's really going to, in my opinion, answer that question. What kind of a coach is he? Is he really a goat, or was he just all nice big guns. And then the Seahawks, y'all gonna laugh at me, but I don't care. Nasty Nick, just for shits and giggles, I guess. Yeah.
That's funny. All right, let's go. We'll go Pat. Who you got? Where your head coach is going?
All right, I got Harbaugh leaving, going to the Chargers as well. As much as I hate to say it, I think Charles might be on board with me with this one. Might be a surprise for everybody. I got Mike Vrabel going to the Seahawks. Antonio Pierce obviously is with the Raiders. We all know this. Panthers, Frank Smith. I don't know if anybody. Do you even know about him?
Is
He was
he
under
a,
Mike McDaniel.
he's an offensive coordinator or defensive
Mike
coordinator?
McDaniel. Yeah, he was under Mike McDaniel.
Okay.
2 seasons with the Dolphins. Yeah, I mean, the only other one is the Commanders. You got Ben Johnson coming from the Lions. I don't know if that's really a surprise for anybody. Maybe where he goes and not that he's gone. But
Shit, the way you guys' offense has performed this year, or the way Detroit's
They're
offense
Packer
has.
fans.
Ben
Yes,
Johnson is definitely the hottest head
He's-
coaching.
Yeah, he's one of the top OC candidates. Chucky, what you got?
All right, Harbaugh is staying at Michigan. Harbaugh is staying at Michigan.
He's not letting go.
Vrabel's going to the Chargers.
He hasn't even taken the interview yet, though, Charles.
Vrabel has had an interview with the Chargers, and he also, the same day, had dinner with the team.
So did Harbaugh.
Harbaugh didn't have dinner with the team. Harbaugh had an interview with the Chargers.
Oh, you know what?
Where
I
do you
didn't
have
even
dinner
think
at?
about who's going to take the
I
Pats
don't know.
job.
I would love that.
What do you have for dinner?
Exact. Ask him.
They already got the Pats already got a coach.
Oh, that's right. Gerard Mayo
Yeah,
got
Gerard
it. That's
Mayo.
right. Yep.
Yeah, I think Vrabel is looking like a front runner for the Chargers right now.
He met with the Seahawks.
Yeah, and Harbaugh met with the Falcons, and Bill is meeting with him twice now, and Shaw's met with the Chargers, and Shaw met with the Titans. This is the coaching carousel that we have. I think Shaw's going to end up with the Titans, actually. I think Eric Bieniemy stays at Washington, and Ben Johnson ends up in Seattle.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Paul?
Mine list looks stupid compared to y'all's, but here we go.
I like it.
I got Atlanta picking
Mine's
up
pretty
Bill.
dumb.
Like at this point, it's inevitable at this point. I just feel like he has his eyes set there. Atlanta already had 2 interviews with him. At this point, it's a done deal. It's just waiting for it to be the alert on Bleacher Report, ESPN, all that jazz. Now Carolina, I got the OC from Detroit, Ben Johnson, going over there trying to make from whatever that garbage dump of the offense that's over there into something. And then I got Vrabel going to Seattle because it just makes sense for him to go to Seattle. With that defense, it just makes sense. I got Eric Bieniemy going to the Chargers because I don't think Jim Harbaugh's leaving Michigan. I just don't see it. I got actually Aaron Glenn, the DC for the Lions, going to Washington, and I got Dan Quinn going to Tennessee.
Dan Quinn to Tennessee would be interesting.
Yeah.
If
he leaves Dallas.
he leaves Cowboys. Yeah.
I think I don't see him coming back.
Harbaugh is going for a second interview with the Falcons.
So you think?
I still don't think he's leaving.
No, I don't think he's leaving at all either. I think this is a huge push for Michigan to give him what he wants.
But the question is the consequences from the Michigan thing. I think that's the deciding factor on if he's going to get any kind of punishment and how harsh those punishments are going to be.
Something about him asking for
immunity.
And I've been reading a little bit about that also,
which they can't grant because the NCAA overrules everything. So I don't even understand what the hell they can't grant him immunity. They can grant him immunity from being fired, but not from being suspended.
I want to offer promotion of your channel views.
So I'm like saying, is the immunity? Does that include? Because I'm like, is there a possibility? Now I may be overreaching on this question, but is there a possibility? With the punishments, could they pull the title from them?
I don't believe they're ever going to pull the title because that's just a bad look for the
NCAA. The NCAA president came out and said that Michigan's win of that natty was completely legitimate. I think what's done is done, to be honest with you. I think rules are going to be changed. I think as much as the outside noises would love to see something specific happen to Michigan, At the same time, I think the NCAA just wants this to go away. You've
But
got
why
you've
don't
got
they do the headsets like they do in the pros?
That's what I'm
my
saying.
question.
They
will be.
just implemented those into a few bowl games this year to see how it was going. You had the choice between pads or ears, right? And from my understanding, it went over really, really well. Rules are going to be adapted. Things are going to change. It's not the 70s anymore.
Right.
I think
So
all
what
of this
asterisk?
noise, I think all of this noise created a crap storm that the NCAA didn't want. They're in all types of federal lawsuits right now. Eventually, the government's going to come in and regulate this. It's only a matter of time.
Oh, dude,
Michigan is the least of their damn worries.
the catapult Ohio State one is wild if you look into it.
Yeah.
It gets into like computer hacking and stealing like private information, credit card information from people was leaked. Yeah, it's bad.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if you're gonna go after some dude for a cheeseburger when you got bros showing up in Lamborghinis to their signing day, they haven't even played a snap yet. You know,
These
I mean,
these NIL
is what it
deals
is.
are crazy right
well,
now.
what I'm talking about right there, that's illegal. Under all guidelines of everything that's written right now, you are not allowed to have a dime before you sign. Right? How you showing up in a Lamborghini?
Oh, before you commit, yeah.
You're not allowed to any of that.
Was that the Texas A&M guy?
You're not allowed to drive it. You're not allowed to own it.
You're not allowed nothing.
You're not
Before
allowed
you,
to even
before you
Right?
But
sign.
that's probably the loop around it, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, this is my
There's
mom's.
loopholes. Tough
Bef-
to
bef-
bag.
But that's what I'm saying.
I,
But
I didn't pay for this.
you're not going to loophole a damn cheeseburger. Get out of
You know what I'm saying?
town.
Like it's like
Get out of town. The dude showed up
I'm
to the
just a
facility during COVID. All right, that's what it was. He showed up to the facility and got a damn cheeseburger during off season. Like, come on.
that's
Wow, we can talk about it a million times. We can talk about Cam Newton's mom getting a new house, Charles. It's been around the NCAA for forever. I mean,
it's
it's not sugar coated at all.
You've got the playoffs coming up. The NCAA don't give two craps about none of that. They need to
what
get
if it was
this
a
under
different
the
team
rug.
though?
I have to say this. I'm going to say this every
Be a different
podcast until
story
it
if it was a
happens.
different team, huh?
I'm going to say this.
Ohio State's got a bunch of crap I could go off the rattle about. It doesn't matter to me.
I mean,
I just like good football.
What if it was like Miami that this happened to? You know, like a
No, they had a
team.
30 for 30 film, so that's tough.
This is really good, by the way. That 30 for
Really
30
painted
was
them
great.
in.
They got
That's a
whole
good
bunch of
30 for 30. I haven't watched
Yeah.
any of them. That's a good one. You're right.
Yo, so I'm gonna say this every single podcast from now till whenever. Give Reggie Bush his fucking Heisman back. Stop
telling
this
you,
nonsense.
I'm telling you right now, if it was me, you gotta come get it. And even if you try to come get it, it's not gonna be a good move for you.
He's
you
not
bet-
fighting for it though. That's the problem.
No. If Johnny Manziel has his, it's probably the same thing Randy Moss did to the Hall
But
of Fame.
this is the thing. You can't sit here and tell me there's only one player that might have been able to win that from him, and that was Vince Young. Outside of Vince Young, you remove Vince Young, there was nobody more valuable in 2005 than Reggie Bush.
Well, y'all bring up the point that he's not fighting for it, but the NCAA is not even offering. That's the thing. If the NCAA said, "Hey, look, Reggie, we made a mistake," not that they would ever admit that they make mistakes because
They
it's the
won't.
NCAA, but
course.
they would say, "Hey, look, things, circumstances have changed. Here's your Heisman bag." If they don't make that initial offering, I don't think it's on Reggie Bush. I think it's on the NCAA
You
because
know
they're the
what
ones who
really
fucked up.
pisses me off?
Closed mouths don't get fed.
This
Well,
is
we
what
can
really
I
talk
get
pisses
that,
me
but
off.
this is yeah.
You're putting this man in the College Football Hall of Fame, so you know he's good enough to be in the Hall of Fame. But you're telling me you can't give him his Heisman back?
Yeah, that's
Well,
crazy.
you didn't take away Pete Rose's batting titles, but you won't put him in the Hall of Fame.
But
Ooh,
this
that's
is the
a
thing.
sore
But
subject.
hold on. The Pete Rose thing. Hold on. Let's
Yeah.
clarify something because this is
Do
the
you-
thing. If you go into because listen, baseball is my shit. Okay?
I love
I just want to
baseball.
clarify that.
Yeah. Oh,
The
yeah.
thing, number one, Pete Rose and Barry Bonds belong in the Hall of Fame. I don't care what anybody says. That's number
I
one.
agree.
Number two, if you've ever played MLB The Show in the last 10 years, if you look at both of those records that they have in the game, they say Cincinnati Reds and San Francisco Giants as the record holders.
Yes,
they won't
they
even
do.
put their name on the
No.
game. The disrespect. Like you're telling me you can't even put their name on the game on a record that they hold.
And now you have gambling commercials on every sporting event.
It's encouraged to bet on games now.
You only have 90 bowl games for 35 days because
It's
of
it's
gambling.
a
We got
sponsorship.
into this with the whole bowl game BS. 13. There's more people at a high school, freaking middle school powder puff football game than there was some of the bowl
There's
games.
more people at that backyard rule baseball than there are.
That's all I got to say. I'm with you, Mike. Reggie Bush needs to get his Heisman back, and you need to stop. These people need to put these people in the Hall of Fame. Like
Yeah,
it's
I agree. It's stupid as shit. All right, so let's
He
move.
wants it, you know.
We gonna move away from the sports for a minute now, and we're gonna get to this military thing. So the way I want to do this, I'm gonna ask a couple of different questions, and I'm gonna have everybody answer. Pat, again, being the only guy not in the military here, feel free to comment and be like, "That sounds fucking retarded,"
No,
as much as you want to, because trust me, some of the shit you're gonna hear is gonna sound fucking retarded.
I see stuff that's
what it is.
retarded. I don't care. I'm well aware.
So, first question, and I'm going to answer this question first to kind of give you the example of what I'm looking for. The dumbest soldier / airman you've ever dealt with, ever, whether it be in garrison or downrange. Let me go first. So there was this kid named Palmer, and I have absolutely no problem saying this fucker's name because he almost cost me my stripes. So fuck that kid. So look, we get orders to go to Afghanistan, and I had just got my P status. I was E4 promotable, so they were like, "All right, Pharrell, Palmer's your guy. You're gonna look after him. You guys are on the same chalk. Like the other NCOs got to go, torch party and stuff. So you're gonna be responsible." So everything's good up until the day we get to where we're supposed to, the pickup location. We get to the pickup location, and my first sergeant comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, Pharrell, is Palmer good to go?" And I said, "I believe so, Top. Let me dump out his bag real quick, make sure everything's good." Dump out this motherfucker's bag, and his IOTV is in pieces. I mean, he's pulled the cords out, the panelings in different bags. Like, we're about to deploy to a combat zone, and your fucking IOTV isn't ready. Okay. Keep pulling shit out. Keep pulling shit out. Keep pulling shit out. This motherfucker has a 30-pound bag of AA batteries. The fuck do you need 30 pounds of AA batteries for?
Maybe he needed a radio.
Vibrator.
He's bringing his girlfriend.
So look, we get
Where do you
to
plug the batteries into the goat skin?
for him. I don't know.
It's got
So we
more
get
range on.
not into Afghanistan, but we get to our predestination for Afghanistan, which I'm not going to go out there because I think there's still some OPSEC stuff that I still can't talk about. But we get to our predestination, and again, we're doing bag layouts because NCOs want to know, make sure all of our guys got our shit. He didn't pack his Kevlar.
How?
He lost his Kevlar.
Where?
Oh, you had to make
This
room
is the
for
first bag drag or
Make room
what?
for the batteries.
This is
Right.
this is the first bag check in country, not in Afghanistan, but in the gateway country.
So you left the States without it?
Yes,
How did he pull that off?
because this is how he pulled it off. He
They
told
set
me,
you up.
"Oh, this motherfucker set me up bad." You know, when you deploy, you have more than one bag.
Yes.
So this is what happened. Our first sergeant and our company commander said, "Hey, get your one bag that you're carrying here. The other ones will get put over here with your IOTV, and Kevlar will be in that pile. So, Pharrell, we just need you to make sure that everything he needs to be in his bag here is on that packing list." I didn't think to go check the rest of his gear. On me, I screwed the pooch. So
You
we
knew,
get,
though.
bro, I literally had to walk this motherfucker around to 4 different supply sergeants, 4 different battalions in the pre-staging area before we get to Afghanistan, begging to find a fucking a Kevlar. Not only is it impossible because we're already halfway to the deployment location, this motherfucker wears a 3XL Kevlar.
Just send him back home. Just
Nope.
send that fucker back home.
Nope. The army brought him with us to Afghanistan.
With no Kevlar? This
They
man was naked?
they found him a Kevlar. They found him. They found him a Kevlar.
Please tell me you smoked the shit out of him.
Bro, not only did I smoke the shit out of him, he got sent home early because he cried on his PT test. He was crying on his PT test in Afghanistan, doing push-ups, crying. Running his 2 miles,
How
crying.
old was this young man?
22, 23, 24, something like that.
Soft as a goddamn shit, baby.
As a baby shit. Last story. So it's literally a week before we're getting ready to send him home, right? We're in our motor pool. And Lewis, you've been attached to a gun truck, so you know the chutes where the rounds go, right? Where you feed them into the actual 50 cal. Okay. So some of the mechanics were asking Palmer, hey, show me how to put this on so I can feed the rounds we're getting ready to go on mission. And Palmer's like, that's not what that's for. It's for the rounds to eject out. It's for the spent brass. And my mechanic, the staff sergeant who's in charge of our motor pool, was like, Pharrell, if you don't come get this motherfucker, I'm gonna smack him in the face with the biggest socket wrench that I can fucking find. Literally gone 2 weeks later. Our motor chief and our and our motor sergeant was told our first sergeant commander, like, if he's here when we come back, he's gonna tear down the tent and put it back up by himself. Like, we hate this motherfucker. They sent him out of country, dude. It was bad. So
That story gave me a headache.
and that's one Joe in the span of 8 months. That's one Joe.
If I'd never been in that situation before, I wouldn't believe you. But
You've seen the stupid shit that Joes have done. So tell me, Lewis, you're the stupidest or dumbest or
yeah, man. You
can't
know,
get right guy.
before I tell you the story, I just want to throw it out there that I am not one of those one upper guys, but I think I have one on you, right? Yeah, man. All right, so in the military, I'm security forces, which is equivalent to MP or military police, right? So I was in Kuwait, at Ali Salim Air Base. Shout out Ali Salim Air Base, and we were on LE, just law enforcement doing those kind of things. I'm gonna throw out a disclaimer though. All this stuff is alleged. So, anyways, I was an area supervisor at the time, which means I had like 3 or 4 gates that I was in charge of, and probably like 2 to 3 airmen at each gate, right? And we're talking about gates inside of base to get to different areas. Well, at this particular time, and these guys can attest, we were understaffed or short staffed as always, right? Well, at this point, because of the threat level, we needed so many, airmen at each gate. And because we're short staffed at this point, the next step is to augment other job departments such as the chow hall or the civil engineer guys, finance, medical. These guys that you never want to have a gun in their hand because God forbid, because they only fire their weapon like once a year. We have to pull these guys and put them in the gate. So anyways, I had like 4 or 5 augmentee guys that I didn't know these guys were coming from. They're all young guys. We got them at the gate. They have an M4, full battle rattle, M9, asparton, pepper spray, the whole 9, right? These kids are excited, right? Because this is the first time they ever got to hold their weapon outside of the range that they fire once a year. Anyways, I'm area supervisor. I'm going back and forth, relieving guys for, so they can go get some food and just trying to be that guy, man, give the guys a little break. I'll take a gate. Well, this guy calls me on my on the area supervisor's cell phone instead of calling me over the radio and was like, hey, man, there's this kid over here. You need to come now. He's playing with his weapon, right? That's like rule number 1. You always treat your weapon as it's loaded. We have their 9s are chambered. Their M4s are not, right? So what this kid is doing is he's at the gate and he's doing the whole Clint Eastwood thing at the gate with a live round,
Jesus
right?
Christ.
And then what he was doing was he was pulling his pistol out. He was racking around, letting it discharge and trying to catch it. And that was the game that he was playing, right? So before I even got there, man, there was other area supervisors had already jumped in, man, and tackled this kid, put the bracelets on him, man. We took him, man. He got arrested. Literally the next day, he was out of country. All those kids, I say kids, all those airmen took their weapons away, took everything away, and still put them at the gate. And so now, they're all upset, right? They're all pissed off because they're walking around with, just looking dumb. And then, you know how it is. We all got smoked, and it was a bad couple of weeks until I got another assignment. So yeah.
God damn. Yeah, kids playing with live with a round in the head. That's it's crazy because it's not unbelievable because everybody who's been in the military has seen somebody fuck around with a firearm that has a round in the head, and you're like, what the fuck are you doing, you dumbass? Chucky?
Yeah, I mean, even to add to that, there was a guy wasn't in our unit. We had rolled up to Warhorse for vehicle maintenance, and some dude had like basically blown his hand off because the 50 cal jammed, and he took a live round and started banging the back of it.
God.
Yeah,
What?
we were really glad we didn't have to do that PowerPoint. Oh yeah, dude, I was in the
Was
infantry.
he trying to be like the
I got
Jason
fucking
Pierre-Paul
stories for
before Jason
days.
Pierre-Paul?
That's
Fuck,
funny.
man. I tell you though, I guess my favorite one. I've got a couple, but I'll just keep it into basic training. Another one of my sweet basic training stories, or maybe not. Yeah, fuck it. Anywho, this dude's name kind of reflected mine a little bit. My name is SYERS, right? So I've always enjoyed the last of the line, the last portion of the line towards everything.
I know that
So
feeling.
one of the very first things in basic training we had to do was basically, you write the first initial or the first letter of your last name and your last four, right? So it was pretty simple, but the first couple people couldn't figure it out. So then we all went outside and we're doing push-ups in the road. And everybody's doing push-ups while everyone else one at a time goes in. Well, so formation etiquette was kind of new to me. And many moments in my military life, actually, I've been graced by I wasn't the brightest bulb in the room. And this was definitely one of those scenarios. So finally it's my turn. And the way the formation was, it's like I wasn't lucky enough to be in the last row in the top left, but I was more last row top right. And my name gets called, so I get up all happy and I start to walk in front of the formation.
Oh my God.
And I'm not even talking like in front of the formation. I mean, you got the drill sergeant to my left and the formation to my right. I'm walking through the motherfucker. And I look down at this dude. We'll keep his name out of it, but his name was very familiar to mine. You would change one letter and it's the same fucking thing, right? You just change one letter in my last name and boom, it's him. So I look at the motherfucker. I'm like, stop being a bitch, bro. And he like looks up and flips me off just as I'm walking. And the drill sergeant was probably coming to punch me in the fucking head, but happened to see this dude flipping the drill sergeant off, right? So I swear I just walked. I just effing walked right by like nothing happened. I mean, I cut through the formation like a hot knife through butter, and not a damn thing to this day ever happened to me. That's how crazy this dude was flipping me off. And it ended up being the drill sergeant. So I walk in. No sooner did I finish writing my name, did I see that side door open up and somebody just fly through it. I mean, 4 feet off the ground and slid the other 12. I remember the two drill sergeants looking at me.
In the bay.
Drill sergeants looking at me and go, if you want some, you could stay. I said, no, I'm done, drill sergeant.
I'm good.
I said,
good.
no, I'm good.
Oh
Then,
my God.
and then to kind of get away from the basic training stories, so I was home on leave, and I'd taken one of the later leaves. And this is more me being an idiot than anything else. And I remember looking at my leave paperwork, specifically. And I remember when I had to be at the airport specifically. And that was day one, and I never looked at it again. And the day came that I thought I had to leave, and I was 2 days late. Like, I was already effed,
you mean
right?
you were AWOL?
And I'm going back to country, bro. Like, I'm not AWOL from work, bro. I'm AWOL from country. So I
I hope
call
Amsterdam trip was worth it, brother.
so I call the US. I call the USO. I call fucking everyone I know except my unit, right? Because I'm like, I gotta get back.
That's the last people I want to call right now.
So I called my recruiter, and my recruiter gave me this number to call, and I got my plane switched, right? And it was like, shit, here we go. So I get on a plane from Escanaba to Green Bay to Georgia, and I'm on the plane to Georgia, and we get on the tarmac to take off, and the whole fucking plane goes black. Not even the emergency lights on the row are on, right? And we get towed back to this. I'm already 2 days late. We get towed back to this tarmac, and the pilot comes over and he's like, "Hey, we've had an APU issue. We are going to look to make sure we're going to get another plane over here. We're going to jump the plane, and if that works, we're going to get off and we're going to take off." So the other plane came, jumped it. The auxiliary power unit came back on. Okay, that's what the APU stands for anybody who doesn't effing know, which apparently is really important for planes, because we fly from Georgia to Germany, and I'm like on a plane filled with people I shouldn't be on, right? I'm infantry, and nobody else is on this plane is infantry. And I know this because their uniforms are fucking perfect. And they've been in country for a minute, and they're just pristine. And apparently the flight attendants knew this as well, because they beelined it right to me and was like, "Yo, can you do all these checks afterwards? Make sure, yada, yada, yada." Like, fucking chill, right? So I'm walking off the plane, making sure everybody's got their shit. And the flight attendant asked the mechanic, "Hey, how long do you think we're going to be here?" No shit. The mechanic goes, "Lady, I don't know how you made it here. So I can't tell you how long it's going to take me to fix this damn plane." And it took him 3 fucking days to fix it, dude. 3 days,
You were
right?
5 days late?
So now I'm 5 days late going into
The
country.
marshals is coming for you.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, dude.
you
I'm
were
losing
picking
my
your ass up in
shit.
battalion. Like,
You got chains waiting for you in country.
Except there was a 7-day sandstorm in Kuwait. And I showed up on day 6 of that 7-day sandstorm. And I was on the opposite side of the fucking complex, and everyone and their mother just thought I'd been over there for 6 fucking days.
You lucky son
I'm like,
of a gun.
what have I done in life to deserve the grace of this glory? But I do not care. Oh my God.
whoa.
Yeah, bro. So I showed up, like, and it was seriously like the next day we started to stage to leave. And then I got on the plane with everyone I was on leave with. Everyone I left with on leave, we all went back in country, and nobody fucking knew anything otherwise. Dude, I had this whole thing planned out in my mind, and hearing it out loud now, I was like, okay, so I'm going to tell them when I get there that, like, my baby sister took my paper and popped off one of her doll heads and shoved it in the doll and hid it, and I just couldn't remember when. And I don't know if, like, whoever is up there heard me saying this out loud and was like, "No, bro, we got to make some universal shifts here to unfuck you."
Bro.
So, yeah, straight up.
Sal, what about you?
So I got
living a good life.
Somewhat moderate stories compared to y'all three. Like, I feel like I should have started, because mine are bedtime stories compared to y'all's. So my first one was in country. We were in Iraq at QS, and I promise you, I wanted to. If it wasn't because I was a PFC, I wanted to beat this guy in his face. So he had just got promoted, because it came to that part of the year where the points dropped all the way down to the lowest points, and anybody that get picked up for sergeant got picked up. And he just happened to get picked up, because for mechanics at the time, our points always stayed at like 680, almost 700. It was just always a stupid number. It's not like the Air Force where you take a test and, Whatever.
Whoa.
Yeah, trust me, I know about them
we
gated
gotta
complexes
we gotta
inside the
take
gated
tests.
complexes.
We gotta take tests. We gotta go to promotion boards. We gotta take courses. We gotta do all kinds of stuff to
Hey
get paid.
man, we had to go to promotion board too.
Yeah, but you didn't have to work on points and hope one day that they're gonna drop to 400 so you can get picked up for the next
Okay,
the next rank on you.
Promotion cycle, yeah.
I
So
got you. I
this
got you. You're
guy,
right.
it
You're right.
dropped down to 450. This man picked up E5. And this was one of those people that should just be avoided at picking up E5. Because this man does not need to be in charge of toilet paper, let alone humans.
Was he still in the unit when I got there?
No,
Okay.
I don't think so. Maybe. His name was Sergeant Long. I don't know. He stuttered.
Nah, he wasn't there.
So we were on a recovery team. If you know anything about a recovery team, KBR back in the day was not allowed to hold any type of firearms as civilians. So we were the security for them when we went to go pick up vehicles that were blown up, whatever the case is. We were their security. We plotted out everything. So it was my job on my team to navigate us there and get us back. I was talking to battalion the whole time, right? I was the guy, everything outside of the convoy commander. Of course, he was the head guy in charge. He got promoted to 5, this other guy, and he got put as a truck commander for truck 3. And it was probably the worst mistake ever because he's on the radio. He has a stuttering problem. So you already
Whose idea was
know
that?
how. It was the worst idea ever. We got back from a mission, and our convoy commander, he was like, don't ever give this fucker a mic again. Don't ever let him talk over the wave again. You don't talk. I swear to God. It took him 5 minutes to put out a command. He said, hey, everybody report back. Like, what's your status for each truck? Truck 3, good. I was like, can somebody else take the radio, please? Please. So this
That's
same
funny.
NCO, when we got back, we were putting in for our leave for when we got back from deployment. So I haven't said this name in a long time, and I thought I would never have to repeat this name for a very long time or at all. My nickname in the military was terrible because nobody can say my name. My name is my actual name is the way the Army said it is Sulabaria. That's my name. It is the absolute worst name because at the end of the day, I don't have a middle name. So it's just Paul Sulabaria. That's it. There's no cushion, no nothing. So some genius decided to give me a stupid nickname. Mike, shut the hell up. My nickname in the military for maybe up to like the last year finally got shortened to 3 letters to Sal. But at the beginning, my nickname was Salad Bar.
You allowed that?
I had no damn choice. Nobody would.
I got lucky. Mine was Canuck.
But this is the thing though. That's not even the most idiot thing. He's an idiot. He was an idiot. So when I put it in my packet, he made me he corrected it, and I went to go sign it. But in my last name is Sulabaria, Salabarria. This dumb of a Riri put Salad Bar Ria, and I'm like, I was like, Star, how you get that? He goes, that's not your name. I was like,
Man,
look at my.
if we were in
I was
elementary
like, look at
school, I
my.
would have roasted. I would have got you, boy.
I was like, look
Salad
at my name.
bar, that's too close to salad tossed by diarrhea. I would have just got you, man.
Listen. But this is the thing that I asked him. I was like, Sarn, how did you get there? He goes, what you talking about? My name is literally on my jacket. Where did you get that from? He goes, oh, my bad. I didn't notice it. We were in deployment for 18 months. What did you not see?
Hey, look, man. Some of them points NCOs are.
So then this is the second thing. I had a basic training stupid moment. So I don't know how they did it in Air Force, but we had 3 phases. And each phase you went to the field. At the end of each phase, before you went to the next phase, you go to the field for a certain amount of time. So the last phase is the longest time you're out in the field. And you got a ruck match. You got a ruck march back to your company from wherever you went out on the field, right? So I was extremely tired this one time when we was going back. We got up at 2:00 in the morning. I was stupid tired. I just got done doing I was pulling guard and I got maybe 2 hours of sleep. And we were marching back, and I don't know how this happened, but I fell asleep standing up, and and my drill sergeant came up to me. He's like,
I've done that.
"Hey, Private, what the fuck are you doing?" And I wake up, and I promise you, from me to maybe like 40 feet in front of me was the next person. Everybody was just walking past me and let me stand there, sleep.
Where the batter buddy at, man?
Yeah, if I was your drill sergeant, I would have. Everybody would have been bear crawling up that hill.
They
That's
were
crazy,
like,
dude.
we got back to the company, and we stood in our formation, and I got called to the front of our platoon, and they were like, "So y'all just gonna let Sal stand up there, looking like a statue, looking slow? That's cool. That's cool." Front
Have
back goes
fright.
everybody
Oh yeah.
for
Have
30
fright.
minutes.
Face. Front lead rest position.
Right?
Move.
It was embarrassing, and the fact that I was like, he's like, "So what? You studying the back of your eyelids? What were you doing? What were you doing?"
Yeah.
Just
One of the hints I got going into basic was don't be a shining star, but don't be a dying star.
or
Right.
a dumbass.
So I was like, all right, cool. So I'll just be in C group.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I live comfortably in C group. Very first run.
In basic
I get
training,
these footsteps running up next to me, and what the hell are you doing back here, Cyrus? What's up, drill sergeant? I know you're fucking right now. Why don't you go ahead and get right up to front of A group and don't be messing around? And I'm like, listen, I look like I'm a lot right now, but man, my first time on that mile was like 8 minutes, dude. Don't do this to me, man.
bro.
I mean, I was
I was the
running
guy in the back.
I was running a 12:53 2-mile when I left
Jesus
basic.
Christ! Shut up.
What are you
Stop
running
bragging. Get out of
marathons?
here. God damn it.
Yeah,
The
yeah, I
fuck?
was doing that. Yeah, I had
I can do
That's the reason why I didn't join the army, because I
8100 on the
suck at
push-ups,
running.
sit ups.
I feel you,
I was
Lewis.
just a
Like,
mile and a
yeah,
half.
But
I
once you
did
got up to Alaska and you
11
ran,
by a half.
oh shit, you ran in that 40 below, you
No.
lost a minute no matter what you did.
bro. So the first day I get to the unit that I'm at with Sal, literally the first morning, right
Yeah.
after I got dropped off, my platoon sergeant comes in. He's like, "All right, hey, we're gonna walk over to. I'm gonna show you where the PT field's at." Our platoon at the time was doing remedial PT because apparently a bunch of our platoon was all fucking fat bodies and shit. So we're all doing remedial
I
with.
resent that statement.
Hey, that's what they told me. Anyways, with this female NCO, one of the greatest NCOs, I still talk to her to this day.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, her name at the time was Sergeant First Class Wit. So she is the embodiment of,
And she's ex drill sergeant.
and she's ex drill. She's the embodiment of, I will do everything that I'm asking you to do right when I'm asking you to do it. So,
And make you look bad.
bro, this lady was super thick. I mean, short and super thick. Had an ass for days. No disrespect, top, but you just did.
I'm not co-signing that.
You're crazy. Anyways,
I like my life.
I
well,
like my life.
yes, of course, your wife would, yeah, do, yeah. Anyways, but look, so we get there and we're doing remedial PT. What I hear remedial PT, I think, okay, we're gonna do like 6120s. We're gonna do maybe some push-ups. No, fuck no, not Sergeant Wit. Fuck no. The first exercise we started with that day was the V up, and I swear I did 70 of them. I was like, where the fuck did remedial PT go? Like this, I was in that
Burpees
unit.
always sucked.
Oh my god, I was in that unit for 3
I'm a
years.
star. Those sucked too.
Oh my god, I was in that unit for 3 years. Sergeant Wit was our unit PT rep. Like that's how crazy PT she was. She was one of those NCOs where you would sit back as a Joe, and you would go, "What the fuck is wrong with? Like, why is she this way? Why is she so matter of fact about shit?" And then you start rising up the ranks and you become an NCO and you're like, "Oh, I know exactly why she was telling me this shit, because I was fucking dumb and she needed me to be better." She's one of those NCOs that I really miss, because she was the type of NCO that literally you would go to war for, because she was that just that dependable. Um
I watched Sergeant First Class Conway do 92 push-ups in a minute and run out of time.
I struggled just to get the minimum.
Yeah, the fucking dude was a beast.
92 push-ups.
92 push-ups in a minute and ran out of time.
I don't think I've done 92 consecutive push-ups in my entire life.
Bro, that was my drill sergeant. I tell you, we went
I've
we
had
won
a lot of
every
people tell me
fucking
92 times.
we won every event except the flag one, and that's because I think third or fourth platoon had a old guard as their drill
That's
sergeant.
insane.
Yeah, our
We
dude would carry a 300-pound tire across a 100-yard sand field. Like our chow time was 15 minutes. He'd do that 5 times there and back, one in the 15 minutes we were in chow.
We had a guy
Dude
in
was a
basic training.
monster,
I wonder
bro.
what his VA rating is now.
160%.
Oh man,
We had this dude in basic training. He was from Nigeria, and when we were in processing, he was talking about that. As a kid, he would run marathons as a hobby, and I'm like,
Damn.
oh, all right. And
I
so
know people like that.
our
Yeah.
company commander ran marathons as well, and his 2 mile. He liked to brag about it. His 2 mile, while we were in process, he would let us know that his 2 mile was like 10 minutes, at the worst 11 minutes. I'm like,
Yeah, fastest that Bacon ran it in 10:24.
this is the thing though. The guy, he said on purpose, the first time we did our first PT test, he stayed behind our captain because he didn't want to embarrass him.
You show him up. Yeah.
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 And the first sergeant was like, if you don't bust his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
The
mean,
next
that's
CT test, he bust his ass. He did a 2 mile in like 8 minutes.
you got to,
Yeah.
man. Like we,
Nice,
you know,
man.
Paul and I specifically have had the actual pleasure of being in the same unit and serving together and learning under fantastic NCOs. You know, Sergeant Witt was one of them. I apparently had a different admiration for her than Paul did because she was really a mentor to me.
No. Hold on. Let's pause. Never mind. I'm like, allegedly. Allegedly. we didn't have
Allegedly,
any
we all know what's going down. We all know what's going down.
Allegedly.
Look, all I'm saying is that we have had really good NCOs. Sergeant Witt. We were actually talking about this last episode. Sergeant Farrelly,
Yeah.
Sergeant Flowers, obviously, who we had last episode. Give me, Lewis. I'm gonna start with you. Give me the one NCO that really had an impact on your career as you were serving.
Yeah, man, that's easy. And a lot of the Air Force is obviously a little different. Um, but coincidentally, I think some people would probably I don't know, kind of take this as like a dig, but like in my opinion, I could care less. But it was actually a female as well. Her name was Sarah Whiteman, and man, she the reason why she made such an impact on my life is because the political game in the military is horrible. The political game in the Air Force is 10 times worse because it's all about how you look on paper. So you got a guy like me, uh, you know, I'm an active reservist, so I all my active duty time is all through the reserves. And so I've deployed multiple times on multiple assignments and things like that. And so I felt like I was always kind of behind the curve. But Sergeant Whiteman, she was active duty that kind of transferred over to the reserves. And she wasn't about the political game either. And, she looked at somebody like myself and says, she could see the leadership qualities that I already bring. And she said, you know what? Unfortunately, we do have to play this little political game. However, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make you look good out on the field and I'm going to make you look good on paper. And then I'm going to show you how to do it. And then you show somebody else how to do it. And so that's always been my mentality is she showed me that you always take care of your people. I mean, it's really that simple.
Yeah.
And it literally what comes around goes around. And so, I was able to glean a lot from her and then like I was able to fast track for promotion as well because of her. So
Yeah,
Nice.
Chucky, NCO officer.
I mean, I had a bunch of great ones.
Yeah.
I had a couple weird ones, but
Well, yeah.
Couple.
I was about to say, if you only had a
So,
couple, you got
we
lucky.
had we had we the one would probably be my first platoon sergeant there, Sergeant First Class Fontenot. That dude was a monster. He'd come in. The best way to describe it, right, would be like, hey, we're all gonna die, but we got to go do this, and we're all like, okay, let's do it. Like, that's the type of person he was. Hands down, there wouldn't have been a second thought around it.
Yeah.
The other guy that replaced him mid-country, we wouldn't follow him into a damn
Wet
Waffle
paper
House
bag,
with a
yeah.
free waffle sign on top of the door. But but dude got his wife's name tattooed on his ribs and forgot how to spell it or something. It was weird. Yeah,
That is some infantry shit to do.
yeah, for real. But I mean,
Probably spent his whole first
Sergeant First
paycheck,
Class
too.
Fontenot for
Yeah,
me,
probably
man.
spent his whole first fucking paycheck
Yeah.
on that tattoo and it got it fucked up.
I still remember one of the times I mean, the infantry, when people are bored, you just get fucked up. That's just how it goes. And I remember one day I was getting fucked up and I was upside down on my hands and knees taking apart a 249 and putting it in its groups and putting it back together. And just as I was finished putting it back together, I remember him sliding up, whispering to me. He goes, "You know, I'm fucking doing this to you, Private." I'm like, why is that, platoon sergeant? He goes, "Because you remind me a lot of myself when I was first in the Army, and I know what I did. So this is just a preemptive fuck."
Damn, he's
It's
punishing-
like, fuck, man.
punishing you for his sins? That's funny.
You know?
That's-
I mean, it
that's
wasn't
exactly-
wrong. Fuck.
yeah.
I mean, we did some shit, man. I mean, tell you.
That's funny.
Woo, yeah, we did some shit.
For me, ironically, his name is just hilarious. His Sergeant Sala. It literally Sala. I couldn't make this
related
stuff
to
up.
Robert.
No, not even related. He
You
was
talking about the Puerto Rican Sergeant Sala from
no.
oh.
He was a white dude. He was my
Okay.
last squad leader. While I was in him, like around the last year and some change.
Oh, okay. I was already gone then.
Yeah, and he got me right when everything like medically was just hitting the fan for me, and he saw that I was trying to like re-enlist. I had every intention of wanting to stay in, even if it was for one more contract. That was the goal, just to take it one enlistment at a time. You know, I wasn't trying to say I wanted to do a 20 years, but if it ended up being a 20-year thing, I was okay with it. But at the mindset, I got in at 18, so mindset is just one contract at a time. And
I was a lifer, and then they sent me home.
I had like maybe 9 months left on my contract, on my enlistment contract, and I just got tired of trying to prove that I was good enough, because you got people popping hot, you know, from crack, weed, all that stuff, getting re-enlisted, school options, everything, and I'm like, I don't got an Article 15, I don't got no negative
We
counseling
fucked around with that
statements,
spice.
and that was a time.
We had code names for it and everything, bro.
said that was
The
a
2X,
fine
we were gonna
line.
go get 2 books from the library. Bro, hit me up with one of them 5 books.
So he came up to me. He's like, "Sal, are you tapped out?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm tapped out. I'm done. Like mentally, I'm tapped out." So he goes, "Just take all your stuff to CIF and just start your out processing." I'm like, he covered me towards the end of my time there, to the point where I barely showed up, because he's like, "You're no good. You already have a P3 profile. You can't even do your own job anymore. You're jacked up. Like, you're no good to me. You're just sitting in the office doing nothing at this point." And so he's like, "Just show up to formation in the morning. Show up to first formation at 9:00. And if I need you for a COB, I'll call you. But if not, just call me at 9:00, lunch, and at the end of the day, so I know that you're alive, and I don't care what you do in between. Just stay out of trouble." And like, he gave me the best advice that I've carried, and I've helped Lewis with this, because I as soon as I met him, I knew that he was a vet. I'm like, I made sure that I make sure anybody I know doesn't get screwed over when they get out of the military. What he told me was, the military got everything and milked everything they wanted out of you and threw you out to the curb. Now it's your turn to milk the government of everything they got that they owe you. And I'm pretty sure I've done pretty good at that for the last 13 years.
Yeah.
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 I had
There's
a hard time with it in the beginning. And most of my injuries are felt and upstairs.
Mine are
So
starting to show their heads now.
yeah, yeah. So I had a hard time. I had buddies who lost legs and shit. So I was like, yeah, they probably need the help more than I do. But
And I always used
I
to thought I
could
was
do
messed
more
up
now.
until I met Lewis. No offense.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, man. I think you got me. You got me.
Sir, your neck is worse than anybody on this show right now.
all right. We're not gonna do the injury game. That's a whole different. I mean, we could be here another hour and a half just talking about all the injuries all of us fucking got. I mean,
I get to electrocute my back on a daily. I love
That,
me
it.
too.
that doesn't work.
I got one of those too. So look,
Those don't work.
there's an NCO that I want to highlight that he was legitimately my mentor in Afghanistan. He's no longer with us. He's my company first sergeant Louis Billingsley. I'll never forget him. The first day I met him,
Yeah, coffee.
he was our replacement first sergeant because our old first sergeant, his wife had made CW5, so they got their choice of wherever the fuck they wanted to go. So they sent his ass off to Alaska, and we got first sergeant Billingsley. Billingsley comes in.
I was in
He's
Alaska.
walking one way, and our company commander is coming in for the morning into the company area, and nobody calls attention for the company commander. I've never this dude was Panamanian, light skinned Panamanian. I've never seen a Latino turn red like that in my entire life. I mean, he threatened to murder everybody that was in the building if we never called attention for his captain again. He was that type of NCO, stickler for the rules. I mean, I got cursed out. I wasn't late for first formation. I was late for motor pool duty on Monday. I was late to sign some PMCS forms as an NCO. He fucking raked me up and down the motor pool area. Company first sergeant's never in the motor pool. What the fuck is a company first sergeant doing in a motor pool? He was in there, wanted to make sure his NCOs were leading the way for his Joes. He raked me up and down in front of every other NCO that was in the company. But the one thing that he did, and this is where I knew he understood his job as an NCO, is he sent every officer and every lower enlisted away. And he dug in my ass in front of the NCOs and made an example of me, but he didn't do it in a way that would demean the stripes or make me seem like less of an NCO in front of my Joes. And that is such a big thing because some NCOs, some senior enlisted want to dig in you in front of everybody and make themselves seem like they have this fucking reach of power when those are the guys that don't have power at all.
Yeah.
The other thing he did was he made all of us NCOs, and I don't know how they do in the Air Force, but in the Army we get our NCOERs. So he made us write our non-commissioned officer evaluation reports for ourselves.
Same.
And every 2 weeks we had an NCO PD with him. And he would go one by one with every NCO, line by line, what you wrote on your NCOER and say, this is bullshit. You're not going to fluff it. Or you're not making yourself look good enough here. You can add to this accomplishment. I know what you've done. Like he was the NCO that was, I would absolutely follow him into battle, but he made you better in the little ways that NCOs are supposed to be better. He made you a better leader because he was going to hold your fucking feet to the fire. But he was also living by the standards he was setting. But he also was the type of NCO I saw him curse out some random sergeant major who was like a division level sergeant major or something, came over to one of our mechanics while our mechanic was in the truck and said something. And my first sergeant said, Diamond be damned, and chewed out this fucking sergeant major to let his Joes know, hey, I got your back. If this is something that's not supposed to be happening, I don't give a fuck who it's from. I've got your back. We came back from deployment in 2012, and literally the day we got back, our acting battalion commander held a formation and was like, hey, FSC, you guys are losing your first sergeant. He just got promoted to sergeant major. So within a day of returning back, we lost our leader. We had already lost our company commander, lost our leader. A couple years later, 2017, I lost my dad. Went to my funeral, came back. Week later, First Sergeant Billingsley was killed in his own driveway trying to back out on his motorcycle, and a car came speeding past his driveway and hit him and killed
Damn.
him. Obviously, I mourned my dad for a long, long time, but I mourned First Sergeant Billingsley just as long. There's some people in the military, and I'm probably going to get emotional about this right now. Um, there are some people who change you not only in the military, but he was one of the people that showed me how to be a man. He showed me how to be a leader. He showed me how to give a fuck about your Joes before you ever gave a fuck about yourself. He showed me that being a leader meant you eat last, that you do everything last. You make sure those Joes get taken care of. And if there's a shitty assignment, you volunteer with your soldiers and you show them, all right, I'm with you. This is how we get through this shit. And I miss him every goddamn day because he was one of the smartest NCOs I'd ever met in my life. And he's it's hard every day. You know, just one of those people that I wish was still in my life. Um, we've been lucky. All of us have been lucky to have had different careers in the military. Some lasted longer than others. Some of us got to higher rank than others. But the common experience is the brotherhood, the bonding, the life-changing people that you meet. Luckily for me, Sal has been in my life for 15 years. And Lewis and Sal have a long relationship, and I have friends from my my other places I've been stationed. Um, People ask me all the time, and people I'm sure ask everybody else who's military all the time, would you go back?
Yes.
Lewis, would you go back?
Not to Ali Al Salim, but I definitely go back. Yeah, different places for sure. I think more than anything, man, it's just like the uniform, just putting the
Yeah.
uniform on and just being with your bros and stuff. Like the crazy places that you said, man, I can't wait to get out of here. Like, yeah, that's
Less
Chucky,
than
would you go back?
3%. Less than 3% of the country joins the military. It's not a choice; it's a calling, and I think that that's arguably why the question is laughable to us.
Yeah.
We didn't choose to join the military. The military calls you, and you either fit or you don't.
I didn't have a choice.
Yeah, well, you did.
But there's a difference, right? Like
I don't regret it though, not even for a little bit. I don't
You-
regret
What
my
was what
decision.
was the other option?
Working at HEB still.
So you had a choice.
you
You
just
know,
didn't
I
have a
made
choice. But you did.
I made an adult decision that was better for me in the long run.
right?
I
It,
tell
uh,
people joining the military was the best, worst decision of my life.
that's exactly what I say. It's the
Yeah.
dumbest, smartest thing I ever made.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely. I mean, it's one of those. There are very few experiences that, as a job, will change your life forever.
Yeah.
The military is a job that will change your life forever, and I think people forget that the military is just a microcosm of society. And what I mean by that is that inside the military, eh, I know you can attest to this, Lewis. You have everybody in the military. You have rednecks, you have
mhm,
Asians, you have black people, you have everybody, and
It's
we're
a
a
melting
melting
pot.
pot. We're forced to be that because that's the way society is. The military is a smaller society inside of society. So the problems that society has, the military has.
mhm.
To
Sometimes
the
worse.
Yeah, oh yeah, I had a Joe when I was an NCO get arrested for transporting a minor across state lines.
That's
So
not weird.
yeah, the FBI came to my motor pool on West
We
Fort
were in
Hood. It was
Fairbanks, Alaska. You just tried not to die in a snowbank.
Yeah, there's that. So we've all had these unique experiences, and you guys coming on here and talking about the military, it's a different change of pace, and I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys
Yeah.
sharing what's made you um, through your career and the different highlights and stuff. And obviously we can keep going. I literally could talk about this for hours. We all could. Um, but I want to wrap up like this. For people who are curious about the military or about what we went through or about what people go through in the military, there's a way to do it, right?
Yeah,
You
go to the
don't.
recruiter's office.
Well, there's that too. I have had. I don't know about you other guys. I've had the question of how many people have you killed? What's the worst thing you've seen in war and all. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Like those are not questions that anybody wants to answer. And honestly, if you guys really knew what happened on deployment, you wouldn't be that excited to ask us questions about that boring shit anyways.
Don't believe everything you see on the news.
Bro, stop it. Listen, one, not everybody's in the infantry. And two, even people in the infantry are not special forces. So this is not SEAL team. Ain't none of us riding around in fucking Humvees with no armor on. Like, let's chill out a little bit. But I wanted to do this episode because I want to give people a little bit of a taste of what happens and who kind of serves in the military. You can tell just by looking at us on screen, we're different. We don't all fit the same. We don't all look the same. We don't all talk the same. But the difference is it could be Chucky, it could be Lewis. We have this common bond because we put something bigger than ourselves above ourselves. And that's not to glorify anything or call us heroes. Don't do that. But what I want people to understand is this is important. And this is, you don't know what somebody's gone through until you talk to somebody. We haven't really even really broke surfaces of what we could talk about here military wise. Um, but I did this as an informative show because I feel like it's important for different people to get their different voices heard. Now, I obviously love what we do and love this platform. So I'm going to say this before I end. I say it every week. If you guys are struggling mentally and you need to talk to somebody, we're here, man. We're absolutely here. You can reach out. The Heat Check is on TikTok, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. Reach out before you make a permanent decision to temporary problems, man. Lewis, I appreciate you coming on, big dog. You got anything you want to say before we wrap up?
Yeah, actually, I do, bro. Real quick, my father taught me at a very young age that when you go to another man's house, you get a gift. So definitely want to bring flowers to you guys. Say congratulations on your milestone of over 1,000 subscribers. If I could be wrong, um, but I feel like, man, words carry weight, and I acknowledge that guys like us don't like taking, that pat on the back, and you know what I mean, like in general, like I don't think, just like you said, man, we always eat last. We're always last in line. We want to make sure everybody's taken care of. So with that being said, man, I think it's cool what you guys are doing. All four of you guys, my hats off to you. I appreciate giving me that little bit of a spot. I mean, I pray nothing but success and growth for this podcast, man, and everything else you guys are doing, man. So yeah,
Appreciate it.
Yeah, we
Thank you,
appreciate
my
it.
man.
Yeah.
Chucky, Pat, you guys know you guys are always, I mean, y'all are our partners in crime at this point. So y'all more than welcome on the show. And we love having you guys. This is, let me tell you guys who are listening and watching, this is the type of relationship we have. I think me and Sal text Chucky and Pat more than we text our wives at this
Oh
point.
yeah.
It's
That's a fact.
I
It's
bet
a
you
little
there's
ridiculous.
1,000 pages on that thing right now.
That is a fact.
So I guess the only real thing I have, other than Boys of the Woods podcast, you can catch us anywhere. Boys in the Woods 906.shop. You check that out. And the average person will eat around 2,984 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in their life.
Say that number again.
2,984 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in your life.
I'm
I
pretty
think-
sure I passed that.
Oh yeah,
I was
me
about
too.
to say, I
Yeah.
think I passed that.
Are you
when I
ready
was,
for
like,
the kicker
12.
though? The paired jam that is requested by peanut butter is strawberry, not grape.
What?
I'm a grape guy.
I'm a strawberry guy all
I'm a
day.
grape guy.
Yeah.
I'm a grape guy.
I did not see that coming.
I
'cause
didn't see that
I
coming
did.
either.
I
I
prefer
actually
strawberry over grape.
The strawberry is preferred over grape. Yep, I'm a grape
I
guy.
did
though.
not see that.
Yeah, yep. That
I'm-
and
I'm a-
peanut butter was officially introduced in 1904 at the St. Louis World Fair. That's all I got.
That's funny.
That's all you got.
Pat, you got anything before we roll out?
Only Charles.
I don't know, man.
I'm the stat guy.
He's the stat guy, and he's the guy that brings the bling. You know, we need that little bit of pizzazz. Charles brings it every single time.
That's Chucky.
Yeah, wait till you see what I got next week.
That's
Father.
No, but when we get that beef jerky, man, we're gonna hit that up. We're all gonna. I'm gonna have
Listen.
to send that to you guys, so we can all try it at the
Absolutely.
same time.
all right. So our boy TJ Sarnflowers, big country boy, whatever you want to call him. He said Sergeant Major Billingsley was a Sergeant Major when he met him at Fort Gordon. He was an amazing NCO. Passed away from a freak motorcycle accident. Yeah, he was.
That's a small world right there.
Bro, I could go into every military page on Facebook, and I guarantee you one person
That
knew
is
him.
a small world.
That's the kind of NCO. That's the kind of reach he had. He just life changing. You know what I'm saying? One of those guys that
Good
really,
man.
really changes your life when you meet him.
That's good.
Look, I'm gonna end like this. I brought this. We're doing this podcast network to bring love to the world, right? And that's the goal. You guys, whoever's been watching, we've had a bunch of people watching. Amado, I want to say shout out to you, brother. You were here. Naomi, you were here. Bish here. And then Big Country. I appreciate y'all watching, man. Like, it means the world to Sal and I. We bust our ass to make this a good podcast. And we've got some new and exciting things coming. There is merch. You can find our merch at Your Heat Check, yourheatcheck.shopify.com. You can find all of our merch, including this badass T-shirt, on that
Pat and
website.
Mike over here.
And Pat with his amazing T-shirt. You can find it all right there. We've got hoodies and beanies and cups and polos. We've got a stitched polo. So yeah, there will be some offer codes coming out soon when I can decide what I want to label them as. But we'll get you some discount codes, and I'm telling you guys, stay tuned, man. We're bringing in some people to the network that I think you guys are going to be really excited about. And I've got some other irons in the fire for the Chaotic Creations Media Company.
Yeah.
And here shortly, I don't have an exact date yet. I just talked to JD. I will be getting the logo for the Check the Woods podcast network here shortly.
Boy,
So we've got some revealing to do. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. And as always, we'll see you next week.